Our Fiery Ember show today. I'm going to be chatting with Brittany Olson of Sunrise Trail Coaching. We are using our Restream platform, and that means that we will be live on Instagram and Facebook, as well as um, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So you can get us wherever you watch videos from. So without further ado, let me bring Brittany forward. Hey, Brittany, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm good. What's in your hand?
Carbonated sparkling water, strawberry flavored.
Nice. So I'm on my third cup of coffee. It is 3 o'clock here Pacific time. At what point is one more coffee too much coffee? Is there such a thing?
For me, there's not. No, I can have a coffee at 8 o'clock at night, and it's fine. I always say maybe it'll keep me up, and it never does. So I'm assuming. I don't know, but I'm like, do I get the effects through the day? Then I start questioning the science. Like, does it actually help me?
You don't have the gene like me. Like I can drink coffee late in the day too, and I literally have no problems going to sleep.
Yeah. I actually like to. I like the taste of coffee, so I'm just like, I want one. Okay.
So, as you know, or maybe you don't know, but our Fiery Embers is a lot less serious than our fireside chats. Our fireside chats will talk about your business, your coaching philosophy, athletes you're training, and everything else. Here, this is literally just questions and answers, conversations amongst friends. And so, one of the things I want to ask you, you run on the trails, there are snakes all around. How do you think snakes greet each other? Do they just head nod? Do they head butt? Do they wrap their necks around each other like a handshake? How do snakes greet each other?
I need more specifics. Are these friends who have just, or people who have snakes that have just met? Are they friends, recurring friends? Is this
Lady,
like?
I want to get more than one question in. Just answer the question.
I think they see each other and they do their little hiss. A lot of people don't know snakes hiss. I think they probably hiss at each other.
And that's like a hey?
Yeah, hey.
Do they do anything formal? Anything more formal than a hey?
I don't think so. No, I don't feel that in snakes. They're not thinking a whole lot. They're just thinking like, where's the next bunny or where's the next mouse? They don't have time to be having conversations.
When you're out on the trail, and let's put a group of animals out there. So there's a snake, there's a tarantula, there's a Gila monster, there's a bear, and there's a bunny. Which of those 5 animals are you going to be able to outrun? And which of those animals is getting eaten by the last one who's too slow?
Oh man, that I'm going to be able to outrun?
Yeah, which of those are you outrunning, and which one is going to get caught by the bear? Because the bear is going to be the fastest
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can outrun a snake for sure because they're not running, they're not chasing, like they're not moving that fast, and I'm terrified of them. But man, that bear's going for the rabbit. I don't care how fast that rabbit is. That bear wants that rabbit. We had a rabbit, right? I'm not making up the rabbit.
The bunny is included.
Okay, the bunny. I think the bear would get the bunny.
So do you think the bear's running past you on the way to the bunny?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not. I'm not. That's how I keep my mind on the trails and not being scared. A bear would not come after me. I'm gonna zigzag and stuff. And the bunny's just got these ears, and they're like, man, I would really like to eat that bunny. With me, they're just not quite sure.
What would get you to stop on the trail? Like, what animal would get you to stop and be like, okay, I'm going in the other direction?
Oh, a snake. That's like,
really?
I am terrified of them. Greg actually, like, he tells people at work how proud he is of me that I go and trail run because I'm terrified of snakes. Like I will like get to, and I actually have never went the opposite way of a snake. I'm just saying that is the one I would, but I have had to learn how to scare them off a trail, and that I get goosebumps every single time I see a snake. Like my whole entire body just, you can see goosebumps on me. So
they're frightening. I'm with you. Like they are frightening.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I remember I was running in Texas. This was a number of years ago, and you come around a hairpin turn, and there was a group of runners up ahead of me, and they were like, ah, right? Like yelling to stop. And so you see the snake, and I was like, nope. And the dudes I was running with, they were like getting sticks out, and they're like wanting to play with the snake. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Like, no.
Nope. You don't get a stick out ever. That's just dumb. But you throw little pebbles at them to get them off the trail if they're in the middle of the trail. If they're on the side of the trail, either go around or go back the other way. So I've got a healthy respect. But honestly, mountain lions scare me. I was just thinking realistically of what I actually see on the trail. There is supposed to be one mountain lion out here, never seen it. So realistically, of all the things I see, it's a snake that makes me go the other way.
what about javelinas and coyotes? You got those over there over on Choya. I've seen them before.
Yeah, and I think it's because anytime I've been close enough to a coyote, they run away themselves. Like, even if I don't notice them, they're so skittish. I'm just like, "Nah, whatever." And a javelina, I never see them at the white tanks. At the South Mountain, I'd see them occasionally, but I don't see them very often. So, I don't think I wanna be around if they have a baby. I've heard they're very protective of their babies.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
most animals are though, right? Like they don't know who we are, and so I think that most animals are going to be protective
They're like,
of their
"Who are
cubs.
you? You don't look like us." Yes,
Yeah.
I want to adopt your ugly javelina baby. That's exactly what I wanna do.
Hey, did you get hit with that weather this past weekend? I saw like Black Canyon had a weather delay. Black Canyon City. Did you guys feel
So
it in
we
Phoenix?
we didn't get the snow, but we got the cold and the rain. So Black Canyon, Mayor High School, where it starts, actually got a whole bunch of snow. And I saw pictures, and I was like, I didn't think they got that much snow there. But yeah, they did an aerial view of it, and the track was just covered with snow. And it was there. It was only about an inch, but they said the delay was more just because the bus drivers had to shuttle. Like, it was more the safety of everybody because we're not used to driving in that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I thought that was interesting. I was like, 2 hour delay. That's huge.
I was talking to Sarah Tamal on Instagram yesterday because I remember like the first year I did Black Canyon, we were allowed into the high school, no problem. You can stay in there and get warm. And then when I did it a couple of years ago, the high school was closed. So I was like, how do you sit outside in
Oh,
that cold weather for an
mm-mm.
additional hour and a half to 2 hours?
No, I'd be in a car or on a bus, or I'd figure it out. I'd figure something else out. No way. No way.
I spent so much energy like just trying to stay warm the morning of that race. Like an additional 2 hours would have just been miserable for
Yeah,
me.
and that's what some people saw it like before they even got on the bus, so they were like okay hanging out. But then some people just were there and already. I think they were still warm, like it was okay. They still had enough like spots for people. But yeah, like I was like that would be if you're already there, because it was announced on Instagram, and I think emails were sent later. So some people didn't check. Like I wouldn't have checked Instagram. Obviously, it's one of the best ways to communicate, right? Though it's get it out. And I think they did get an email out, but the post to Instagram and Facebook were the fastest because well, it's the easiest thing to probably get out to everybody. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd have been sitting up at Mayer High School freezing because I definitely would not have checked my phone or
Well,
anything.
and I'm wondering too because when I did Black Canyon and they started in Mayor, the high school was open. So we
Yeah,
were so I didn't know if it was open for this because I didn't know how traffic was running. Like I'm hoping it'd be open.
I think you and I ran Black Canyon the same year,
Oh,
and
okay.
that I remember the high school being open and being able to go inside and warm up and have
Yeah.
no issues.
Yeah, it was nice. And then they're like, go outside. And I stepped outside and I was like, no, no. Like, oh my gosh, I live in Arizona. I'm not even that far away from Phoenix. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what time the race starts, 7 o'clock, and I was like, okay, it's 6:59. We can start to walk outside now and go to the track.
Yeah. And what's crazy about that race is how hot it can get in the middle of the day. This year it didn't just because of how the weather was. But I
Yeah,
think the last year I did it was 2020 was the last year I did it. And it got hot in the middle of the day. And being from Phoenix, I was okay. But so many people from out of state were like, what's happening? I'm like, welcome to February. Like that's normally what it's like here.
the year I DNF'd it, like I think I got to the marathon distance over whatever that aid station is that's off the highway off of 17, and I was like, I'm done. And it was warm out, but I wasn't even sweating, which is what I knew when I
Oh.
knew something was wrong. And I was like, yeah, this is not going to go well, and I'm out. But it was warm, so like February in Arizona and Phoenix area, you just don't know what you're going to get. It's proven by this year's race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of for me. I think that's what makes it fun and what makes people come back to Black Canyon and Javelina. That one's in October, but there's so much different weather that
Yep,
happens with both of those. Like the race never feels the same. There's so many reroutes, so much stuff Aravaiba's had to do to just get through some of these races, which is pretty impressive.
it
But
is.
yeah, but those two races always seem to have something happening. And even though Javelina doesn't get rerouted or anything, it always looks different when you're out there. At least I feel like it is because the weather's just so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our friend and community leader Adina says hello, and she has a question for you. So,
Oh.
have you ever been lost on the trails? And I'll follow that up with, if you are, what do you do?
Oh man. Oh yeah, I've definitely been lost. Like I've been when I first started, I just ran with people because I was terrified, but they would even get lost. Like they'd been doing it for like 10 years. So like, it's normal. Don't worry about it. So I remember the first couple times when I went by myself, I was very nervous. So if I couldn't figure out how to do a loop, I mean, I just stop and go back the way I came. Like it's not like I get so many miles out if I know how long I'm supposed to be out there. I'm like, I'm not convinced this loop's back. I'll just go back the way I came. But if I'm out there for a long run and it's a nice weather, I'll keep going. Obviously, in the summer, I have to be smart. It's like,
Yeah.
nope, it's 100. It's going to get 110 degrees a day. I already got to go back. So, Yeah. It
I'm
doesn't
a big
terrify me. Snakes terrify me way more than getting lost on the trail. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the backtrack on the
Yeah.
Diamond Wash. Huge fan of backtrack.
Yes. I totally forget about that though. Well, I haven't been lost in a while, but yeah, I was like, this is a really good feature. This is actually how people can help overcome some fears about being on the trail. Yeah.
Absolutely. Years
Yeah.
ago, I raced with this dude. His nickname was Dog Bait. And the reason why his nickname was Dog Bait is because regardless of when we rode, there would always inevitably be dogs that would chase him. And it didn't matter where we were. It was like there was one time there were 5 or 6 of us and we were hauling ass. And this dog came running out of the yard and he ran past 3 of us to get to Dog Bait. Like he didn't stop at us. They went right to, his name is John, went right to Dog Bait. It was ridiculous. But one time we were riding, this was in Fort Worth, Texas, and he and I got separated from the pack. And he's like, "Do you know how to get back?" And I'm like, "I have no fucking idea where I am, dude." Like, and he's like, "Well, I guess we better use backtrack." And so we used our bike computers to backtrack and was able to figure out how to get back to the start finish for that ride.
Wow, that's pretty awesome though. And I'm more curious about how dogs are attracted to him. Like I want him to get blood tests and like what does he smell like and what's going on.
Maybe it's he, not to insult anybody, but he was born and raised in Nebraska and he grew up on a farm. So maybe it's just coming out of his pores.
It's just there. You're Nebraskans. You just never know. You never
I remember
know.
one time he left the cabinet door open. We were racing at Ironman Chattanooga and we rented a house together and he left the cabinet door open. Like being a wise ass, I'm like, "Hey, dude, were you raised in a barn? Like, close the door." And he's like, "As a matter of fact, I was."
So I don't have manners.
Yeah. He's a good dude. I miss that guy, John. So one of my favorite topics, as you know, is food. And with you, it's always like, "Yeah, but what about this? And what about that?" Always adding all these caveats in.
I'm specific.
What's the one specific food that you can always eat? Or a meal for that matter.
Do you mean when running or just like anytime?
See, this my right? Like just answer the question.
my brain doesn't go to people are like, what's the first thing that came to your mind? I'm like, another question. An answer did not come to mind. I don't know why. Ask my athletes, they ask me a question, I ask one back. I'm like, I feel like I don't.
There's no such thing as a quick call with you, is there? I'm
like, oh, you see my athletes get these text messages. They're like 3 paragraphs long. And I'm like, you didn't know what you were getting, did you? And they're like, no, we know now what we're getting when we ask you a question. So
meals, eating, not while running. Not while running.
I will say probably pizza. I mean, and cheese is not good for my stomach, but I will eat pizza anytime. Pizza and sushi, but we'll start with pizza because that's cheaper than sushi, so I'm going to eat it more for sure.
Straight up plain?
I mean, lately I've been doing a lot of the white pizza, with the ricotta cheese on it and the New York style. That's what I've been doing a lot of. We did that for Super Bowl.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Amanda Templeton, who must be a friend of her.
She's one of my athletes.
She's not lying. So many questions.
I do. I'm like, she asked a question. I'm like, well.
Amanda's like, I just want to run.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Look, lady, the question was, am I running for 3 hours or 4? I don't need all this shit before that.
I'll talk to her after this. I'll let her.
So white slice with ricotta?
It's been that. We also got the deluxe for Super Bowl, which has spinach and tomato on it, which I'm not a huge tomato fan, but there's something about that combo I like. So, but I mean, that's I don't know. It's so good. It's so simple and so good.
What are you adding? Salt and pepper? Are you
I'm always adding
sauce?
I'm always adding red pepper flakes for sure. And sometimes I add Cholula. I love Cholula. That is my hot sauce. If somebody gives me Tapatio, fuck you. Like that's it. Done. Like it's Cholula. We go to Costco and buy like the two packs, at a time. So I have 4 packs and I have a traveling Cholula that's smaller. So I can stick it in my purse if like somebody doesn't have Cholula, they have Tapatio or whatever. So
hey, Tapatio, if you're looking to sponsor this segment, her opinions are her own. Just saying.
They are.
This is what we used to do in college. So we would order we'd order a pie or a slice or whatever, plain, and then we would always ask for them to add a little bit of cold shredded mozzarella after it came out of the oven so that when you folded it in half to eat it, it would melt and you'd have like this combination of like slightly melted cold mozzarella against hot pizza. Man, it's fantastic.
I can't. So you added it to it and then you stuck it in and then you ate it?
So you cook the pizza,
Yeah.
right? It comes out of the oven.
Yeah.
And they hand you a slice and you tell them to put a little bit of extra cold shredded mozzarella on top so that when you
Ah.
folded it, the heat from the pizza would also melt it
Ah.
slightly, and you'd get this combination of, like, cool, melty cheese with the hot pizza. It was, like, perfect combination.
Huh. This is interesting. I've not heard of this. I don't believe you. This sounds weird. No. Now I'm like, I kind of want to try it just to see.
You gotta go to Oswego, New York. That's where we did all of our food experiments. We used to eat this thing from Oswego Sub Shop we called it Cheeseburger Hot. So it was a sub that had chopped beef, right? That was, like cheeseburger with melted cheese all throughout it. And then you put it in a sub and then you added cold shredded lettuce, cold tomato, cold onions. And it was fucking fantastic. And clearly it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you've been drinking all day.
That sounds like the best thing ever.
So I do want to get a little bit serious. Talk to us a little bit about Sunrise Trail Coaching, who you are looking to coach, who you're looking to help, what you want to help them with. What's the business?
Yeah, so right now I am a running, strength training, and nutrition coach, which has been pretty fantastic. It has really grew when I started run coaching. It kind of came pretty, I don't want to say organically because I hate that word, but it kind of did, where it's just like, like I'm coaching and it just kept coming back to like, hey, I need a run coach. Hey, I need a run coach, which has been fantastic. So typically, like when I think about my ideal athlete, it's normally a woman. I've been where they've been a lot of the time, where I'm going where they're going. If when we talk a lot about hormones, about periods, about all those things, because there's so much that impacts us. And on top of that, there's lots of people who self-sabotage, but women are more prone to self-sabotage. I did it myself. Women are more prone to perfectionism, to guilt, to things like that. And again, I'm not saying men don't have those feelings, but it's just, I do know I always have to, qualify things, I feel like,
Yeah.
but like that's just, so so specifically, it seems like the age range is about 35 to 55 who tend to like really, really pull towards me. And I love it. And I most of them are either trying to up their distance or they're just trying to get consistent running. So it seems like it's those two things, because a lot of them have problems with injuries or not knowing what's sore and normal sore, or what's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually in pain, or like, am I feeling fatigue, or am I just tired, or they don't give themselves a break. Like, I have to hit every single run or I'm going to ruin my entire training block. So hence the reason I have extra questions, Amanda, if you're still on there. I have lots of questions. But really, the whole point of like my coaching, yes, it is to get people to cross the finish line if they want to race. It is to get them to a strength goal if they have a goal to squat so much. It is to lose 20 pounds with nutrition coaching if that's what they want to lose. But when it comes down to it, what I've learned is it's a lot about them overcoming perfectionism and self-sabotage. And that's what I've really enjoyed to get to coach through, is like coaching them through those pieces of it. So yes, I do. There's the actual running plans and nutrition plans and strength plans, but it's really the conversations that I feel like have drawn the people to me, is that I do that. It's not just a plan for me, it's the person. So.
Running, so road, trail, and ultra, one or the other, or all of them?
Yeah, I do all three. Well, trail and ultra kind of go synonymously, not always, but I mean, but yeah, like I have athletes right now who are training for a 5K because they've been inconsistent with their training and they want to be able to run and not walk one, like that's their goal. So I'm like, heck yeah, because a lot of times if you're inconsistent with running a 5K, obviously it's a lot less miles than an ultra. And they always tell me, like, I just can't get on a schedule. Like, I just keep pushing it off. I keep putting other things in front of it. And like, so I'm there to be like, okay, like we don't just talk about the running plan. We're like, you're going to time block. You're going to go to bed earlier. You're going to do this. But it's me asking them questions, because if you tell people what to do all the times, they're like, no, I want to come up with it on my own. So you have to be able to coach and ask questions and get them to come up with the answers.
Lori and I talk about this all the time. We're going to get back to more jokey jokes here.
Yeah.
When you're out on the trail, have you ever had to use the whistle in your vest?
No, but is Amanda still on the call? I can't tell who's on the call.
I don't know if she's still on the call.
Okay. I have not. I have never had to use it. The whistles on the little vest doesn't even really work. I've used it at home to test it, and I'm like, does this work? Like, can a coyote hear this? Like, it's like, I'm actually calling dogs to me right now. It's actually a dog whistle. Like, I don't think they work. Just so you're aware.
Amanda's still on the call. You got a story?
No, I mean she's got a whistle, mace, or pepper spray, something else. Oh,
She's
stun
ready.
gun. A stun gun. She's ready.
Oh,
She's ready. So sorry,
wow.
that's and well, and the reason I love it, Amanda, I know I'm calling her out a lot, but like she's awesome. But like she was like me at one time where I was scared to get on trails by myself. I was terrified of it. Like I was like, what the heck? And I didn't always have a person to run with. And sometimes you just have to expose yourself. But Amanda feels safe by having those things on her. And I love
Yep.
it. Like, heck yeah, if that gets you out on the trail, do it. Like, I
It's
think it's awesome. So
agreed.
yeah,
It's super important to feel safe out
yeah.
there on the trails.
But she has
So
used the whistle on a coyote in conclusion. In conclusion. And she ran the other way. So good job, Amanda.
Lori always asks, "What happens if you come across a bear?" I'm like, "I just blow my whistle." Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, if I come across a bear, only one of two things is gonna happen, right? He's either gonna fucking eat me and I'm dead, or I keep running. Like, I don't. What am I supposed to do? Throw a rock at it? Get a twig?
Yeah. Well, and it depends too. Like here we have the black bears, which are supposedly they're small and they're supposedly scared of us because so a lot of times those apparently skitter away. I've never actually ran into one, but I've had friends who are like, "Oh yeah, I ran into one," and they just went, phew, they just ran away. But if it's like a grizzly bear, those things you're dead. I
Yeah,
mean, they're not slowing down. They're not doing anything. They're just like, phew,
right.
like their claw. They just do this, and you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Th- Ask me that question again. What happens? And I'm like, I'm a snack. Like
yeah.
that's it.
I was, yeah. Oh,
Oh, Amanda said there were two coyotes.
oh,
She feels like
two.
you left that out of it. That's a very important detail.
It is important. I didn't realize there were two. I didn't realize there were two.
All right. So when it comes to getting into a river, a lake, a pool, are you dipping a toe in, or are you jumping in both feet and figuring it out as you're in the water?
Oh, I'd have to jump in. Mine is more I don't like cold water, so if I know it's going to be remotely cold, I better just jump in and just get it done. Like if I do one toe, I'm not getting in.
Not
No,
getting in. That's
no,
it. Party's over.
no, no.
It's Valentine's Day. People are going to be eating cake today, celebrating
Mm.
Valentine's Day. If you were going to eat cake today, what's the flavor of the cake you're eating, and
Carrot cake.
why are you wrong if you say red velvet?
Ah, carrot cake. Carrot cake.
Yes.
I was like, that's easy. That's what I don't have to put. That wasn't immediate. Carrot cake. That's
Raisins or no raisins in the carrot cake?
I don't know if I ever noticed them being in there. I know I've noticed them, but I mean, I don't think I noticed a taste.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
they got to be in there. They get,
I feel, I,
absolutely.
I feel like they're always in there when I buy them, but I don't know if there's a difference in taste.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
got
So
it adds
anyway,
a
I'm
little
like,
sweetness.
I think it has to. Like, I know my mother-in-law's made me a couple for my birthday, and like there's always raisins in them. So I don't know if I guess
One
they're
of
just
the things
there.
that people have added that I don't, come or go either way is pineapple. Are you a thumbs up or thumbs down on pineapple in your carrot cake?
No, no, you know me and pineapple. No, no. It's pineapple is okay alone. I don't think I eat it with anything else ever.
Really, not even with other fruit. So
Well,
like
okay, other fruit.
cantaloupe and melon.
Well, I mean, I can do like if it's like a fruit thing, I can grab a bunch of fruit and that's together. But like with other foods, like other thing that's not a fruit outside, no, no.
These are your only options. I'm
Oh, okay.
setting this up now. Shoestring French fries, tater tots, or onion rings.
Tater tots.
Tater tots.
If you
Why?
had, if you had said different fries, it would have been different answer, just so you know. But tater tots, oh man, they're crispy on the outside and nice and hot, and then they're soft on the inside. Oh yeah, if they cook them right. Yeah, I did have a tater tot that was not crispy on the outside, and I never went back to that place. So
Do you know who Maria Simone is? Maz Life. She's the head coach at No Limits Endurance Coaching.
okay, I think I've seen her name. I was like, that name's familiar as soon as you said it, but
So I've known Maria for, gosh, I don't know, 12, 13 years, some very long time. She was my coach at one point, and I paced her at Rocky Raccoon one year, and they had tater tots in like a tin, warming tray
that
type
would
of
be
thing.
amazing.
Yeah. And so she was like, we need all the tots. So we just took like scoops, and she had pockets on her running pants, and she just stuffed all these tater tots in her running pants. I'm like, you do realize it's going to be mashed potatoes in like 20 steps. Like it's going to get all smashed up. Yeah.
I wish I would. I've been recording that. I've been like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like a lot of things happen in an ultra, but man, you can catch some really rare things.
A
You got
lot of shit happens at ultras. People eat some of the strangest shit at ultras, right? So she eats like real pretzels, not like crunchy ones, but like real doughy pretzels.
oh.
and she gave me one of them, and I was like, "Maria, I'm going to choke on this thing and die. Like, how do you eat this?" What's one of the things that you've eaten on a trail and you're like, "That's never gonna ever happen again?"
Oh man, I've had a few things. I did beef jerky once. And it just didn't. I tried it's anything too chewy, I can't handle. Like I was like, I mean, I actually got nauseous when I went to chew it, and I was like, what? So beef jerky, and then I love pretzels, like hard pretzels. I can't eat those during an ultra. I think I don't know if I don't hydrate enough or what, but I try to eat them. So
You're like, George Costanza and Kramer. "These chips are making me thirsty," and all the shit's just falling out of
yes,
your
that's
mouth.
exactly what it was. I learned beef jerky at 100K at my first 100K. Like I just was like, I went to take a bite, and my crew's right there, and I just went, and then they were just like, "Here's your Coke." Like that was the next thing. I was like, "Thanks."
What's one of the things that it's a must-have drop bag or in your vest when you're racing or running, for a long time?
Are we still on the food
Food,
subject? Sorry.
always food.
Okay,
Just
just making
assume
sure.
it's always food
Yeah,
related.
I've actually switched over to having those Bobos PB&Js. Those little because I love PB&Js, but they especially here in the summer, they leak, like, if you just make one. So those Bobos stay together, and you just, like my friend Courtney introduced me to them in, like, September this past year, like, and I love them. 'em. I'm like, "These are perfect for, like" they fit everywhere. If they get smooshed, that's not a word, smooshed, they don't ooze. So, yeah.
I remember being introduced to those years ago by Allie Miller, and similar to my reaction to Maria and the pretzel, I'm like, "How do you eat this shit? It's just sitting right here this whole time." And now I love them. Like,
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know,
so it did okay.
maybe my glands have changed as I've gotten older. I'm able to process this stuff, but I love them too. Like, Bobos are a fantastic snack.
Yeah, and if you can't I notice if I have a little bit of a dry throat, it's something I can just start drinking out of my like the bladder, the hose, and, like, I can get it the rest of the way down, and I will say later in a race, I switch over to gels, but those Bobos, I eat as many of those as I can, like, early and just keep going.
Do you
Yeah.
prefer a bladder over flasks
Yes. Yep.
because it's
I
just easier to carry?
I don't know, so I don't if anybody has seen any of my race photos, a lot of times when I'm racing, I'm using a much smaller vest, which is 2 tiny bottles up front. But I have tried using those bigger bottles in a bigger pack, and they, like, bounce, and they'll hit my neck, and I'll start getting, like, rubber no matter where I move them, and I don't know, but when I put the bladder in, it doesn't it bounces less and everything like that, but I will say for races, I typically tend to switch over to the small bottles. It's a very small vest if there's enough aid stations. So,
Yeah.
I know that like, I prefer the bladder, but for races, I like lightweight. So
I love using the flasks, and I have an Adidas Terex vest that also has like a little pouch in the back base, and so I
oh,
can slip a third bottle back there, and it doesn't impact me while I'm running. Like, it doesn't bounce against my back while I'm running. It's fairly flat,
yeah, I don't
and
think I
so
knew
you
Adidas made a pack.
yeah. So
Oh.
get this, I had been looking for this pack for the longest time, and you could only get it if you were an elite or a pro runner with Adidas. Couldn't get it anywhere. Went to Portland earlier or in the summer of 2023, and they had a pop-up shop with it on in the place, and I was like, "Holy shit! Heaven! Heaven!" Like,
Take it, take it.
I
Yeah.
love that vest. It's fantastic. It's got, places. I think it's like 16-ounce flasks, but
Okay.
they go all the way down and they're tapered. So they slide into the
Oh.
vest much easier. And then they have that little pouch in the back, which is great. Plus all the different pockets everywhere.
Uh, that makes sense. Yeah. And for me, for bottles, when I think about too with racing, like I like having one where I can put electrolytes into, and I like one with plain water. So there's that. But that having something convenient, because that's one of the problems. I have 20-ounce bottles in one of my Nathans that I've tested them. I've tried it. I've even used it in a race, and I got irritated at aid stations. Like I was like, it won't like.
Yeah.
I'm only 20 miles in. I'm not shot yet, guys, and like I already can't get my bottle back. See me at mile 50. Like I don't.
So before we wrap this up, what do you have coming up personally? Any races on the agenda for you?
I'm trying to figure that out. I know we had talked about this before, but I've taken a step back from racing to focus on the biz because it's getting busier, which is fantastic. And something
Yep.
had to give a little bit. So I'm still running. I'm still lifting like I always do. But I actually had to remove Sedona Canyon's 125 from my calendar, which I'm happy to do it because it's the right thing. So now I have a year's worth of credits that I have to use and figure out where I want to put them. So I want to eye a couple maybe 50Ks. We'll see. I have couple different athletes in different states too that have invited me to come sleep on their couch if I need a spot. So I'm like, you know what? Like it'd be fun to find a 50K and go somewhere and just do it. So yeah, so nothing big, but really the focus right now is the coaching biz. I have a corporate job, so having more time for the coaching biz is what's most important to me right now. So
Awesome. Good for
yeah.
you. Any ideas or thoughts? Last question for our Food Fight Friday coming up.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for that one. You should have sent me that one 2 hours ago. I could have
No,
had something. No,
I need
you're like,
those like gut
ah,
reactions.
that was stuff. My first thought was peanut butter M&Ms or Reese's Pieces, but I can't remember if you've done that one before.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was my first thought. I did have a first thought, but it was just more like, I could have had so many more.
Well, you know how to contact me.
I do.
Brittany, it was awesome chatting with you. Thanks for
Yeah.
being on the show. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks.